We've got another tactic from DeliciousStory today. We're going to check it out. Let's take a look. Now, the way I'm picking it from the new sites is basically just whatever's up top is what I'm going with first. Some of them happen to be by the same people, so I'm not really choosing Delicious Stories tactics to take a look at time and time again. But just so you know, that's how I'm doing it. But this is another Delicious Story tactic. The main reason I actually chose this one is because it's not a standard tactic. It's not a standard formation. And obviously, I love seeing the non-standard formations, especially because the more attacking ones, they do the best in FM23. So we are taking a look at that one today. Another 3 at the back system shape is what Delicious Story wrote on the page itself. If you like it, leave some feedback. He does have a Discord to look at. He does have a YouTube channel to look at, Patreon and things like that. He has some information on a lot of the tactics, a lot of things that he does in a Google Docs spreadsheet. So he has done a fantastic job getting all this together, getting the information together for you that you don't see most times on the Steam Workshop, which is why I've changed. But you can take a look on the page itself. The win percentage is only 47.5. 76 matches won, 55 lost, 29 draws. It's a lot of losses, but we'll see how our 3 teams deal with it today. The tactic itself, however, is a balanced mentality. You start off with a sweeper keeper in defend, ball playing defenders all across the 3 center backs, wing back on support on both sides, a DM in support on the right, and a segundo volante in attack on the left, a shadow striker in attack on the right, and 2 advanced forwards in attack on the left side and central. In possession, attacking with a standard, approach play is pass into space, overlap in the left and right, focus play down the left and the right, passing directness is shorter, tempo is higher all the way up, low crosses in the final third, and run at defense. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and roll it out. And then out of possession, a higher press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and get stuck in. But now, how did it do for our 3 teams? As we always say, yeah, as you can see, Tottenham doing very well. 77 points, sitting in 3rd place right now. Newcastle and Wolves, 6th and 7th. Again, very good, well done. Newcastle at 65 is kind of on the average side. Wolves at 60 is probably average to higher than average. So they did very well. 2 out of the 3 teams, though, in Europe, not too bad of a start. Schedule-wise, Tottenham looking fantastic in the first half of the season. Only 3 losses in the entire thing, and it happened in August and September. So not too bad. To Porto in home. That's interesting. A couple of draws towards the end of the first half, but continuing on, kicking it off. I mean, still, EFL Cup quarters is where you lose out to Newcastle, of course. FA Cup 4th round to Leeds United 1-0. And then Champions League, you bow out right here against Atletico Madrid, 1-5 away from home after kicking the crap out of them 4-1. Another one of those epic games, this time in Madrid. But unfortunately, you're kicked out of all 3 competitions, but you're still heading to the Champions League next season. You're doing very well. Yeah, not too bad. Newcastle definitely not doing nearly as well. Their September is fantastic, but wow, look at that October. That's just insane. Probably fired pretty shortly after that. But you do move on in the Cups all the way to the FA Cup 4th round replay, 3-5 against Aston Villa, not kicking it off, unfortunately, and then losing to Aston Villa the next time around, 1-3 in the Premier League. But EFL Cup semifinals, first leg and second leg, you're out against Crystal Palace. And then, I mean, you've got some okay runs, some nice greens in here, but you still have a couple of losses that probably, if you were able to, I mean, that Crystal Palace one right there, get away with a win somewhere in there. And then Wolves, definitely. I mean, you got the problems in August, but a great September, a great October with just single loss. EFL Cup 3rd round in November, you're out against Aston Villa. Of course, they seem to be the bogey team this time around. Manchester United 0-1 in the FA Cup 4th round. And, I mean, a spotty rest of the season. You got a nice run of points here in February and March, but yeah, some too many losses right there. Transfers for Tottenham. Mostly we've seen before, Tony Weston, Theo, Victor Nelson. However, Sasha Bowie from Galatasaray for 11.25. I don't think we've seen him before. And then 3.4 out for Hugo Lloris. We've seen him go a couple times, but Tanganga, again, 10 million. So they're getting some money back in. Newcastle, I think we've seen these before. Ronnie Edwards, Kai Kennedy, Matt Ingram from Hull City for 48K, and then Manuel Ugarte from Sporting for 52 million. Wolves only bringing in Andre Horta from Braga, 8.25, and that's really it. Daniel Podence out for 6.5, so, I mean, you're bringing a lot of that money back already. Tottenham squad looks really nice. A lot of greens with a lot of playing time. 6.42 for Son, really nice. Newcastle has a couple. Isaac picking it up this time around, 7.4 with 21 goals. Very nice. Wolves getting more than Newcastle did, but with one appearance off the bench, 7-9-0, Hwang Hee-chan. I mean, some of these players should have probably gotten a little bit more game time, but whatever. Data hub for Tottenham, shaky defensively, very good in attack, as you can see, some pretty good attacking numbers. Definitely not as high as we've seen before, but the shape of it we've seen a lot of times before. The fouls attempted per game or against per game, usually now down, which is completely different from the first set of times I did tactic talks. But team defending, Newcastle, decent defensively, as you can see this time around, and very good in attack. Some higher numbers maybe than Tottenham, but fouls attempted per game, or against per game, you're getting a little bit more of those. Wolves, nothing too different. Shaky in defense, good in attack. Some obviously lesser attacking numbers than Tottenham and Newcastle, but still not too bad. Defensively, tackles attempted per game, a little higher than usual, but beyond that, shaky. Yeah, I'll give you that. So most goals, 88. Once again, Tottenham leading the league. Newcastle with 73 and Wolves with 63. Fewer shots against. Tottenham is the only one. Most possession. This is not a possession-based tactic, apparently. So no one here. Most dribbles made, Tottenham. Fewest conceded and most shutouts. You can see Tottenham are in there. Most tackles won, Wolves, picking up some defensive pieces, but best pass completion, absolutely no one. Most shots, Tottenham, Newcastle, and Wolves all in the top 8. And then most points per game, as you'd expect. So individual stats for the Premier League, Haaland picking up 32 goals, but Kane and Son, 26 and 24 apiece. 50 goals between the two is a fantastic number. Cunha and Isaac in there as well. Assists, you got a lot of people. Trippier, Porro, Semedo, and Kulusevski. Most player in the match awards, Son, Kane, and St. Maximin, all with, average numbers though. Ederson, best pass completion. So you got some most dribbles made, fewest conceded. You got most shutouts. Hugo Lloris in there before he was sold, apparently. But most tackles won. You got Semedo in there. So, again, the defensive side is sort of there. Key passes, Trippier, Sarabia, and Porro in there as usual. Most shots, Isaac up there with 123. He's usually up there at the top. Son with 110 and Kane only with 99. And finishing out for Tottenham in all competitions, Harry Kane leading the time with 32 goals. 7.42 for Son is a fantastic one right there. Porro with 18 assists and Son with 10 Player of the Match awards. Isaac with 21 goals. Kind of on the higher side of average from him lately especially. But, he's gotten a lot higher numbers, which is sad to see that he's not as high in this one around. But, he's still 21 goals is not too bad. 7.40 average rating. 25 assists for Trippier. Dang. And St. Maximin and Isaac with 6 Player of the Match awards. 18 goals for Cunha with Wolves. Cunha with 7.07, highest average rating, not the greatest one right there. Semedo with 11 assists, and Jimenez with 5 Player of the Match awards. Overall, I don't think this tactic did all that spectacularly. I think, obviously, as I usually say, if you take control of things yourself, you could probably do a much better job. But, again, read Delicious Story's information. He's got so much information on this tactic and, everywhere around his channels and all that. Definitely check it out. You could probably pick up a little bit more information on how to actually deal with it. But so far, it's a pretty average tactic from what we've seen. But again, this is just a sim. I am not taking control of anything in the matches, the shouting, the transfers, the training, anything like that. It's all done by my staff. So if you're taking control of everyday aspects, you're going to do a bit different than what I got. But that's just what I've seen right here in this sim. But that's it for me, Seffian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.